Good evening. It is 7:02, so we're going to go ahead and get started. I think everyone's been admitted from the waiting room and we're just going to leave it open. My name is Maria Calzada and I am the PTO president. Hopefully you're here for the general meeting for Carnegie's PTO. If you're not, welcome anyways. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. We did not have a general meeting in December, so we have a little bit of extra business, but we are still gonna try to be expeditious and be done with general business hopefully by 7:30, 7:40 at the latest, because we have a really special program tonight. It's usually our favorite, so we're going to try to get to that. First of all, welcome to everyone who was able to make it. I hope everyone had a happy holiday and a happy new year. We want to, first of all, get started by moving to approve the minutes from 2 months meetings. So hopefully everybody got those in their email and got a chance to look at them. And
they were posted on the website, Maria.
Yes, they were. They were posted in an expeditious manner, thanks to our secretary.
And apologies for the delay, everyone. Yeah.
And so Aparna, our secretary, has posted them and they're flashing on the screen. So we're not going to spend a ton of time leaving them up because we did send them out. So we're going to look and vote on the minutes from both October and November. So we're going to do October 1st and November, if we have a motion to do so, of course. Do we have a motion?
I motion to approve.
Thank you. I think that was that Allison Moorhead?
That was me, Jackie.
Oh, okay. And then Allison Moorhead, I think, is waving second. Okay, Allison Moorhead seconds to approve the minutes as posted. Okay. So unless there's any questions, which I don't see any, let's see. Right, so you should see a poll. Yes to approve, no to not approve, or to abstain. We should have music for this.
I have to find a music. Jeopardy music.
I was going to say, for the record, that's not me singing. And that is I believe that's quorum. Okay, and have we shown November already?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. So do we have a motion to vote for the November minutes?
I approve.
What that poll said was October/November minutes. So we
Oh.
arguably just did.
Okay. Are we fine approving both months with the same vote?
Sounds great.
All right. Is our parliamentarian here?
I see Marlo is.
All right. Well, she's not stopping us, so chaos will ensue. All right. So moving on. Spring semester highlights. So I just wanted to kind of, first of all, point out just a few of the things that we have going on coming up in the next month or two. In the spring, what we're looking forward to is Teacher Appreciation Week. So if you are someone who has not jumped in, because we have some volunteers that just they raise their hand for everything, which we of course super appreciate, and we don't want to discourage. But if you have been thinking about helping out and you know, just have not really found the time to do it, Teacher Appreciation Week, which is right adjacent to Nurses Week or Nurses Day and Nurses Week, which is right around Counselors Week. You know, we have a lot of really important people at the school that are going to be celebrated this semester. If you're interested in helping out with those endeavors, I won't go into details, but please contact the board. We have a committee that works on teacher appreciation every month. And by committee, I mean one person who does the lion's share of that and is amazing. And I thought I saw her name earlier. My husband got me this amazing screen, which is very large and an external monitor. So if y'all see me looking around like this, that's why. So I apologize. But we have an amazing person who does monthly teacher appreciation lunches for our teachers. But for Teacher Appreciation Week, we really do want to have a group of people to help us out. So that is happening in the spring. In addition to that, we have a spring gala that our committee chair is going to be speaking about in a little bit. But that is going to be a large event. We already have a committee that has started work, but that is going to take a large group effort, not only on putting it together, but also doing things like donating services, donating items. Something that Carnegie has an abundance of are parents that come from a lot of different schools, a lot of elementary schools and middle schools. The best and the brightest all want to send their kids to our school. And that means that we have a lot of people who have gone to schools that have put on really nice events at their schools. And so if you have had experiences at different middle schools, different elementary schools, where you've had a very successful event, fundraiser, gala, social, and you've seen your school be able to raise money in a successful way, and you have some good ideas or something to share, even if you are afraid of investing too much time, but you feel like you have something that you can contribute, please send us an email, put your information in the chat, or come to one of the committee meetings. And the vast majority are virtual, and contribute, because I know that we have a lot of talented people that come from these other schools at Carnegie that can help us out. And the last thing I wanted to share was that our alumni committee, which is kind of where I think Carnegie comes full circle. We have, our goals for our students are that they get a fantastic education, they get into great schools, and then they have great careers. And hopefully they can turn around put their hand out and help lift up the next Carnegie student that comes up. And so that's something that we as a PTO board have been working on developing more. And so the alumni committee is something that we have been trying to foster, which is somewhat difficult because we as parents are obviously not alumni. So with the help of Gary, who's our VP of membership, we've been trying to pair up alumni from the former Jones High School with the current Carnegie High School to kind of forge new alliances and reach out through social media and email. And we've been able to have a couple of successful social events. So through the last month and a half, we've had 2 events, and our hope is that they will get to be a tradition. And so that once they are out and about after they graduate from Carnegie, somewhat the same way that people have their associations through sororities and fraternities, and they can count on one another to kind of have that network, that Carnegie will also serve as a network for our students once they graduate. So if you're someone that has perhaps an older student that already graduated who you think might be interested in participating in the alumni committee, contact me. My information is, well, everywhere on the website, and I'll put it in the chat, but it's president@cvhspto.org or alumni@cvhspto.org is specifically for the committee, and I can get you in touch with the head of the Alumni Association. And that is all I have. We will have the treasurer's report.
Hello, everyone. Yes. Hi, everyone. This is Mala Gupta, the current treasurer for PTO. And now I would like to present our statement of activity for up till January 18th. So we can start looking at the major highlighted items. I'm going to start with putting the numbers, pointing at the numbers, the bold numbers. I don't know if you guys can see the bold numbers. So starting from the top, it's a revenue first with, so far we have a donation, which gave us minus all the credit card fees. We had almost 47,500, close to 47,500 donations. And thank you to our generous community for that. Going down, we have some expenses right now in fundraising events. You see it's negative because right now it's all the deposits we have made for Spring Gala, which Maria was mentioning, to secure a venue. There's no, right now, we haven't started getting any revenue. That's why it's all negative here, but this is gonna change. We in fall fundraiser, some of you who came into our fall fundraiser at Cvhs house, it was a small informal fundraiser where we had about $660 for revenue and some give or take some $288 for expenses, which gave us about $371 positive, in fall fundraiser. And then we have some swag sales, which you see about $3,943. And there are some store, Amazon, Kroger, Randall's donations, which we get, which also got about $527. And just speaking of Amazon, just wanted to share before I move with our community that Amazon is now going to stop this program of Amazon Smile. Some of you might have gotten that emails as well. I got an email yesterday from Amazon saying that they are going to now stop this program all over America, starting February of 2023. So in case this is the last time, we'll probably see a few more $100 from Amazon, and that's about it. And the program will eventually stop. So going back to our revenue report, we have some interest income on our saving account. And with that, the total revenue so far is $46,646. And now going to the expenditure part of it, there is nothing major expenditure so far this year except some PTO regular operating expenses for all the software fees, communication, electronic expenses, office supplies. Then we have the major expenses are for the teacher appreciation lunches. We have, some right here in line item 62,120, sorry. And then we have employee, which PTO sponsors employee of the month and employee of the year awards. So that they are already purchased and given to the school to be presented to the employees every month. And going downstairs, you do see some senior class expenses, but this is pretty much from last year. Our system is cash basis in case anybody doesn't know that. And so we record everything as per cash. So when the check gets cashed, it's get posted here, but this senior class expenses from last year, the check got cashed really late this year. So, and then we have some communication expenses, and all in all, the teacher supplies, because teachers get a stipend of $350, and as they request, we supply them, and that's so far we have a net revenue of $27,437. So that's our P&L statement. Anybody has any questions about it, please let me know. This will be posted on the website, this already is posted on the website. So I look at these numbers all the time. So, but if anybody has any specific questions, do let me know. My email is treasurer@cvhspto.org. And there is another statement of financial position as well, which will be posted on the website. I'm not going to really go through it. It's pretty easy. The major item is our Bank of America account, which is posted on top, so which you can see. And other than that, everything else is pretty small here, nothing big. So yeah, please look at it and let me know if you have any questions. There are one big change that is happening in our payment processor system is the membership toolkit, where our payments donations get routed from, or routed to, I don't know how to say that, is actually kicking PayPal out. And we are having a new payment processor called Luma Pay. Actually, Mary, can you show everybody? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
So,
going.
okay, thank you. So, it will not affect anybody really once that transaction will happen, but anybody who has paid in the past after January 31st, there won't be any PayPal payment will not be going through PayPal, but Luma Pay. So it's a separate payment processor, and it's not our choice. We are forced to make this decision because of the changes happening on membership toolkit end. So right now you see there are two buttons. One, it says complete transaction. That is going to be the eventually our future processor, which is Luma Pay, and there is a second one which says until 31st January 2023. That is just for the PayPal, which eventually will be gone after January 2023. So that is a big change happening. If you have any questions, and if you guys want to still feel a little confused, and you think check is the best way to donate, that option is always there. The checks can be dropped in the school. The students can give it to the front office, and front office always keep it secure in our PTO box for us. So if you have any other questions regarding any donations or anything else, please reach out to me. And that's about it from my end. Thank you so much. Maria, did I cover everything, or do you think I'm missing?
I think that was
Okay.
the main two things.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Danielle is not going to be able to be here, but the main thing, please donate.
I'm actually here. I'm just
Oh,
on mute 'cause
yay.
yeah. But I was gonna pass my time to Allison and Jackie when they're ready. So do you want to do that now or?
That they're on the agenda a little bit later.
Okay, so I think I don't have anything else to say other than, please volunteer and donate auction items, underwrite elements of the event, buy tickets, sponsor teachers being able to attend, and all that jazz. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Sorry, I just wanted to did mention specifically, thank you everybody for donating to our Teachers Appreciation Holiday Drive. And because of all your generous donations, our teachers had an amazing holiday lunch before the holidays. So special shout out to the whole community for coming together and making it happen. Magically making it happen in holidays. Thank you.
Yes, and everyone who donated to the families too. I mean, so we see it on our end because we're able to see what comes in, and we're all floored about how it doesn't matter what we ask for or how last minute sometimes these things happen, and the Carnegie community just like this. We come together, and big or small, everyone comes together, and families get meals, teachers get gifts. I mean, it's really nice. So anyways, thank you. Mary, if you don't mind switching gears and giving your report.
Sure. Good evening and Happy New Year, everybody. So 3 items I would like to cover today. One is, if you haven't already signed up and haven't received the email today regarding the PTO meeting, please make sure you join membership and through that membership toolkit so that you can get all the up-to-date information about the PTO. If you're not getting all the information from your child, this is the best way to get whatever happenings at school, you'll be able to get that. The second one is newsletter. It's sent every first week of the month. And for this month, because of the holidays and the school started very late, I couldn't get the information out. So watch for that next edition that will be coming out by end of the first week of Feb. Sorry, what happened? Oh, okay.
I'm demonstrating for you.
Oh, okay, thank you. And any queries regarding technology, or you want to send out communication regarding a program or an initiative, please feel free to reach out to me. And my email ID is communications@cvhspto.org. So reach out to me. And also there is a planner out there, like if anybody, students or any committee want to send out the communication via social media or via email, please update it in that spreadsheet, that event planner, so that we know what to do and when to get that all communicated. That's all I have. I'm still looking for volunteers to help me with social media posting or newsletter creation. For that also, please reach out to me. Thank you. Back to you, Maria.
Okay. So I tried to do Mary's job for 1 minute and I immediately lost the agenda. I'm sorry. So I believe that our next speaker is going to be Jackie, our VP of Special Events, who took over at the semester, and her committee chair for the gala.
Yes, hi. Thank you all for joining us. I'm Jackie, the new VP of Special Events. And I just wanted to let you know that we are in full planning mode for our gala that's coming up. And we would love if you would, offer any of your time, or, even if it's from emailing from home, simple things to much more extravagant things if you'd like to help. But I am going, if Allison, if you don't mind, just talking a little bit about, sorry, I don't want to put you on the spot, but if you want to, give
Hi,
a little bit of talk. Yes.
I'm Allison Moorhead, and we're going. I'm helping to chair the spring fundraiser. It's called the Crash Bash, and if you didn't know that a crash is a group of rhinos, so it's a group of rhinos partying. It will be held at the Flight Club. Every time I say it, I think I'm saying the Fight Club, but it's the Flight Club. It is a darts place, kind of in Midtown. It's a fun place. Dinner will be included, 1 drink ticket, and darts. We'll have auction. So you get to come out and have some fun and be with other Carnegie families and have a sense of community. The tickets will go on sale, hopefully the first part of February. And we're going to stagger our pricing. So we're going to do early bird pricing. So if you buy in February, there'll be $55, in March, $65. And then in April, as we get closer, the prices will go up to $75. So buy early, buy often. And then again, if you have any, if you have something to donate or would like to help on the committee procuring auction items, we would love your help. And you can reach out to Jackie with her with her Carnegie email address. Sorry for my other student. Oh, and I'm sorry, the date. Sorry, that's very important. It is April 30th. It's Sunday, April 30th from 5 until 8:30. And it's adults only. So it's a time to leave kids at home. Yeah. Thank you. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I'll put my email in the chat. So I'd love help. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Allison. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And our volunteer membership VP, Gary, is not able to be here. She had a conflicting commitment, but as always, we need volunteers. Volunteers fall under all the different committees. Without volunteers, none of this works. So if you are confused about how to sign up to volunteer, please just again, look in the chat. We've got a link that goes to the board page, which means you can contact any one of us, or you can just email board@cvhspto.org and it will immediately go to all of us. So the right person should respond. So if you have any questions or if you want something specific, you'll get us. Okay, last but not least, the man with the plan, Principal Moss with the State of School.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here. It looks like we have more than 50 participants, so thank you so much. And Happy New Year and happy spring semester. First and foremost, we did have a visitor outside in front of the campus, actually on the sidewalk. A protester, and of course they are allowed to be on the sidewalk. Basically, this was not a protest, in my opinion, directly for Carnegie, but more so a district employee whose child attends our school. And I'm going to speak in very general terms. My understanding is that it's either a protest against the district employee and or maybe protests against actions or events that recently occurred in the district. Of course, we did have officer coverage throughout the day, and we also had various employees stationed at the doors this morning. So if there are any questions then by all means, feel free to reach out to me via email tonight or tomorrow, or even call the school tomorrow. Just a very few things I wanted to mention. Report cards were to be issued on Friday, but there was a glitch in the system district-wide. And in particular, I want to mention, if you notice any asterisks on the report card, asterisks usually refer to excessive absences. And if they are so excessive that it violates the 90% rule, then you may also see two letters, NG, which stands for no grade. And we have notified, I hope we've notified all of the students who received NGs. But if you have any questions regarding the NGs or the asterisks, feel free to reach out to me regarding that as well. And by now, all students should have received their report cards and shared those with their parents at home. I wanted to mention that as of now, the district is actually having budget reconciliation. Carnegie is in good standing. Basically, they look at the projection that we made last spring compared to October's snapshot, which is at the end of October, near the end of October. And our enrollment exceeded projections, so we expect to receive additional funding. Hopefully those will be deposited sometime next week. I'm thinking somewhere around the 23rd. And during February's PTO general meeting, I will present the state of the school in terms of what our budget looks like. Currently, we do have one vacancy that's in English. For those of you who don't know, Ms. Josephine Lee got what she called her dream job. She's working for a local magazine as a writer. So in the interim, we do have teachers filling in for her, and they're following the lessons and instructions from some of our other teachers. But we are, someone will fill her position hopefully next week. This is a former colleague of mine from HSPVA. She is a recently retired certified English teacher. So we're very excited for her to be joining us next week, and I will send out correspondence to welcome her. Late April and early May, we will actually have our STAR testing for 5 subjects. That's English 1, English 2, Algebra 1, Biology, and US History. And so you'll hear more about our goals, which are to meet and exceed expectations and hopefully score at the master's level according to state standards. So you'll start to hear more and more about our expectations. If you have not heard, we do have our graduation for seniors at 7 p.m. on Tuesday, May the 30th. It's never been on a Tuesday before, but this is the day before our the last day of school for students. So please mark your calendars. We're very excited to have graduation at 7 p.m. Tuesday, May the 30th at Del Mar Fieldhouse. And basically that is it for me. And again, if there are any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Email is preferred, or you can call the school during our school hours tomorrow. Back to you, Maria.
Thank you, Principal Moss. There was a couple.
Hey, Maria, before that, we have Alia have to talk about the college prep. I think that is something we missed.
Yes, there was. Thank you. That's it. I realized that. So if I could just introduce Ilya, because this committee has done amazing work. And earlier, whenever I was talking about kind of that cycle, we get them in, we want them to learn, we want them to get into college, we want them to be successful, and then hopefully come back and give a hand up to the next set of students that come into Carnegie. Okay, so that middle part, that's what Aaliyah's committee does. And they've done amazing work already this past semester, doing a series, putting together a series where Ms. Galloway, that works for the district, is a counselor and has been helping teach mostly the parents, but really the students would get a lot from this too, helping to show us how to help our students get prepared for college. And this is something that we always do as a PTO, you know, through these programs in the meetings, but the approach has been really different than what I've seen. I've had a Carnegie student for, now this is my 5th year having a Carnegie student. And for me, it's been very refreshing to have kind of an in-depth look into each of these topics. And even as in-depth as they've gone, we still have questions at the end of each session. So without further ado, Aaliyah is going to give us an update on the next session.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for letting us speak. This is a joint effort. Of course, we have a group of parents who are very committed to having these sessions. And of course, huge thank you and shout out to Ms. Galloway. She's our counselor. And Gauri, she has been heading this committee all along. And so on the Vanguardian website, we have under parent resources, we have all the recordings of the past meetings. We had 4 so far in November, December. And yeah, so if you go under, yeah, so it's the first one under parent resources. It's called College Information. And you can find all the recordings there, and we will update. So the last meeting in December had to be postponed. So that one is going to happen on the 2nd of February. So the last topic that Ms. Galloway was going to talk about was I've applied to college, now what? So she was going to cover some of the topics there, but that's not going to be the last of all the meetings. We do have some more exciting ideas, and she kindly volunteered to give us some more hopefully sessions, or if not sessions with her, but definitely we're going to have some more meetings around this very important, and I think everybody would agree that this is probably most nerve-wracking for everyone, for kids and parents. So yeah, please join. We will be updating the website with the link for the 2nd of February, and we'll go from there. And if you have any questions, please reach out. Gauri is our main person there, so you can always email her as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay. I know that there are several questions in the chat about graduation. Having had a senior last year, I was a senior parent, and it only gets more contentious with the questions. There is a senior page on the PTO site, and it links to the senior page on the Carnegie site. That being said, I'm going to table all of the questions. For now, we're going to move to our program. After the program, if there are still questions, we can break out into, we can let everyone else go, and we can break out into some classrooms, separate rooms for classes for anyone who wants to stay. And then you can also email each of your class parents. Those emails can be put in the chat. They're also on the website. But right now we have some class of 22 alumni that have hopefully been waiting patiently and have not left. I'm trying to make sure that they're, Mary, do you have them? Okay. It's been a while before I had to pin people.
Okay, what is that you want me to do, Maria? Sorry.
Our class of 22, I'm trying to pinpoint our students, our college students.
We have Gautam. Oh, let me see.
Okay.
I have to.
Oh, I see Perrin.
They can introduce, right? I mean, whoever is on.
Okay. So while I start pinning our speakers, so we have our class of 22 students coming back. Some of them are our PTO award recipients. The PTO has scholarships that every year we've been adding to the award. So that's an excellent committee to be on. If you don't have a senior, you can help out with that as well as a volunteer. Some of them were runners up. Some of them are other leaders from last year, and we've asked them to generously spend a little bit of time today answering some questions, telling us how it's going, and letting us know whether or not, if it's myth, legend, or true that Carnegie is actually a lot harder than college, because most of the students have told us that, you know, that's all this business with the note cards, you know, the note cards. It's all worth it because when they get to college, college seems easy. So
That's the infamous note cards from Freshman World Geo, right?
yeah, and AP Human. Okay, so if the students can unmute and introduce yourself, tell us where you're going, what you're studying, and anything else and your pronouns, please, if you don't have them up on your screen. Ah, hi, Keshi. Okay. I was like, hey, Ollie. There you go. Is Raven here? Yeah.
Maria, everybody's putting a hi on the chat. So Raven is here, Kanchi is here, Ollie is here, Farron is here, Gotham. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pinning them as I see them.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Perrin, you go first.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. Hi, I'm Perrin Calzada. Pronouns are he, him. I go to U of H in the Honors College, and I'm majoring in computer engineering and analytics.
Gotham?
Hi, can you guys hear me? Hi. Yeah, my name is Gautam. I am a freshman honors engineering major doing pre-med at Texas A&M University, and I go by he, him.
Okay. Keshi?
Hello, my name is Keiichi. I'm a freshman studying business analytics at the University of Notre Dame, and I go by she, her.
Okay. Ollie?
Hi, my name's Ollie. I'm a freshman at University of Texas at Austin. I am currently undecided as my major.
Okay. Raven?
I'm Raven. I go to Rice University and I study physics. Oh, and my pronouns are they, them.
Are there any other students that I missed? Okay. All right. So who is living on campus? There's a show of hands. Okay, so everyone's living on campus. Does anyone regret that decision? Yeah. Okay. So tell us why you regret living on campus.
So personally, it's like 50-50 for me. One is I like only good things about living on campus is I'm close to all my classes, my friends, classmates, and my roommate is super nice. The biggest thing for me is I'm really claustrophobic, and my dorm is like 2 people living in one dorm, and we share a bathroom with the next room, so 4 people total. So it's kind of cramped. That's like kind of the only thing I regret. So yeah, I am moving off campus next year.
And I would say for me, I have a really good roommate. I think just it's really expensive to live on campus. It's good. I think it's like a good thing to do for your first year, obviously, because you're closer to your classes. Like I didn't know what I was doing. I was panicking a lot. So like just being on campus, like kind of quelled my nerves and made it a lot easier. But like it's roughly, I want to say 1,300 a month in comparison to, having an apartment. So I am trying to move off campus next year. But I think like at least for your first year, I wouldn't like advise not to live on campus because it's just a lot easier to like get into your like this whole new campus, especially if you're going to a big college in comparison to Carnegie.
Yeah. So what kind of a shock or not shock was it as far as study load the first semester? What were your impressions? Freshman year to freshman year. Let's do freshman year at Carnegie versus freshman year at college.
I guess since I'm muted, I can go. Unmuted. I'll go first. I would say freshman year of Carnegie was a lot more of a shock than freshman year at Notre Dame. Or first semester freshman year. I would say I definitely, since it was more of a transition, I took more of like those core classes the first semester that they make like everyone take, like the writing class, the philosophy class, and such. And so it's definitely, now I'm taking more like major specific classes like accounting and stuff like that. I would say Carnegie first year was a lot more intensive than like this now.
I definitely say that we had way more assignments freshman year than we do now. I don't want to say whether or not the assignments that we have now in freshman year of college are more difficult, but I will say that there was definitely way more of them at Carnegie. Like the workload is less here, even though it is a lot of self-studying, which Carnegie has a lot of too, but still spending a lot of time in class doing things.
I think one of the biggest shocks for me was, well, I transferred in sophomore year to Carnegie, but it still applies there because we take so many classes. There's like a lot more work, but when you come to college, depending on how you choose your schedule, there's a lot more free time. Because also if you're living on campus, there's just so much more to do, like clubs and stuff. So you have more time to explore other aspects.
I would say that I think the workload at college is mostly governed by what you make it. My first semester, I made it like pretty difficult only because I took close to maximum credit hours of classes and because I took a lot of honors classes. That said, the like in quotes like on level classes I felt were about on level with Carnegie or easier. I just didn't take them because I didn't really have much to learn from them. So I would say that college is as difficult as you sort of like want it to be, essentially, because you're sort of in charge of your classes, depending on your major, of course, but you're essentially in charge of deciding your own schedule and deciding what you're going to do.
Like, especially for me, because like I'm undecided, so I haven't really been focusing on a specific major. I took more of my core classes or like just flags that we have to like take care of at UT. And those classes, like in comparison to freshman year, where I was super overwhelmed, like college freshman year, at least first semester, was super easy. And like Raven said, like you choose what classes you want. So I chose the classes that I knew were going to be super easy, that that I needed for my course because they didn't really matter that much. So of course I don't know for like major specific courses, like how hard they'd be. but definitely like emphasis on what college is, how hard college is how hard like I don't think your students here are how hard like your kid is going to make it for themselves, because it's depending on the major, of course, it's very up to you and how you handle your workload, how you handle your classes, and how you handle your free time. And I think Carnegie helps with that, like managing your time, especially freshman year helped me or just Carnegie in general helped me manage my free time.
I'll say that a lot of assignments in freshman year of Carnegie were like trying to prove that you know how to do the thing, whatever you were learning, like so you were prepared for the exams or the quizzes. But in college, those things aren't mandatory assignments. They're just things that the professor might give you. Like every single professor I've had so far has had some folder online with tons of either example problems or extra credit things or stuff that wasn't mandatory. So they weren't assignments, but you could fill them out and do them if you wanted like more practice. So if you're not confident in something, you can be doing the same amount of work at Carnegie. Like you're not want for things to do. You could be studying, but if you feel confident that you already know the material, then you don't have to spend time on things that you already know how to do. You don't have to like kind of waste your time doing that sort of stuff. So it's better in that way, just so you could study if you need to, but if you don't have to and you think you've got it down, you can just do the exams.
Okay. Is there anything that you felt like so far anyways, that you look back and you wish that Carnegie would have addressed? A type of class or a skill, something that was missing?
I think in terms of I think Carnegie, we didn't have enough intensive writing. I think in classes it might be an essay like every now and then, but I think it's a lot more writing in college. Like there was one class I took last semester, which was a university writing seminar, and we had to read a book and write an essay on it every week. And I would say that was definitely something that I wasn't used to at all. And I don't think there was, we definitely had those like longer writing projects like AP research. That was like a really good course and stuff like that. But I think consistent writing in classes isn't something that occurs as much.
I think for me, one thing I wish I knew, like, or Carnegie kind of like told me, maybe it was just have been my fault. Like getting your course done beforehand, like that's a big money saver, especially like if you're trying to save money, because then you don't have to stay in college for that long. I wanted to, sorry, my roommate's here. I wanted to take advantage. I should have like taken advantage in Carnegie, like, because we have so many AP classes. Just like using those AP classes to get rid of like classes that you would have had to take in college, if that makes sense. I still enjoyed my Carnegie year. I wouldn't have changed it, but it's like, I think I wish I would have known it beforehand.
And just to add on to what Ollie said, I think definitely if that's something you want to do, to make sure like the colleges you're going to accept that, because I go to a private university, so they don't really accept APs, but I know like most of y'all except Raven are like at public schools, so they would like accept AP. So like knowing if you want to use that or not.
I will say that Rice does accept APs. You just have to get a 4 or above on it. And it depends on the AP. There's certain classes, but I removed a lot of my AP scores from the transcript because they put me past like first year physics, and I didn't want to take like second year physics my first year of college. So I would say that even private universities often accept APs, just maybe at a different standard than like other universities might.
Even for a public university like U of H, at least with my major for computer engineering, it depends what your major is, what scores count for what credit. Like if you are a physics major, like Raven is here, and you're at UH, you would have to get like a 4 or a 5 on physics 1 and also a 4 or a 5 on the AP physics C, just to get physics credit, like for baseline physics. Whereas as someone who isn't a physics major, I could probably have got, I think I do have credit for physics 1 or something like that. Like you are able to get credits in, but if it's your major, they have much like harsher requirements because it's things that you need to know more. So just something to take note of.
That's really, I do recall the last couple of years, the writing comment that you made, that was the one thing that seems to, the one deficit, I guess, that I do recall hearing from Carnegie students. So that's interesting. More writing. Okay, so whenever you compare yourself to other students in your classes or, you know, labs or in your particular majors, do you notice a difference in your preparation for college? Okay, I see a lot of like, yes, most definitely.
I'm
Please.
not this, I don't think I'm like the smartest person in the world. Like I think especially out of our lovely selection of students, I'm not the most like STEM orientated person, or just like I would say I'm like average. Being an average person in Carnegie in comparison to being average, like I don't want to sound self-entitled, but when you sometimes you go to these classes and people are complaining about certain assignments and workload, and in my mind, I'm like, I went to Carnegie. This is like baby steps in assignments. So I definitely think like in comparison to like, so like if your student or is like feeling like doubtful, like, oh, I'm so bad at Carnegie. Like there's so many people who are like better than me at Carnegie. When you go into college, you are, I would say you're pretty good in comparison to most.
Like for me, because I'm doing engineering and pre-med, the way that engineering works at A&M is I'm essentially double majoring because of all the courses I have to take. And so this semester I'm like maxed out schedule. I have like 2 physics classes, biology, chemistry, math, all the works. And I'm just like kind of, you know, gliding by because I believe senior year of high school, I did take bio, chemistry, physics, all the AP classes at the same time. And I did fine because the teachers are really good, at least for me. So right now I'm like, it's difficult, but I'm going through. But then you see other people just like, it is definitely the stress load of Carnegie definitely prepares you depending on the schedule that you make for yourself. So yeah, just firsthand experience, I'm pretty comfortable because of how the rigor at Carnegie, you know, helped me.
No, like just to compound on what was said by both of you and Ollie when you were talking about how you were comparing yourself to the people in your major. I remember that time earlier last semester, you were in that one class and everyone was complaining about these assignments and you were like, this is easier than anything we ever did, basically. Like, and that really rings true, more so for my non-honors courses that I have to take than my major, my engineering courses, obviously. But it's just, you are well prepared, even if you don't think you are. And there will always be someone better than you at Carnegie. There's always someone in every class who's a super mega genius who you're never going to catch up to. But it doesn't matter. You're fighting for the very edge of the very top of the list at this point. Like, you're going to do more than great.
I will say, yeah, especially like outside of my honors courses, because for a while I took like the intro physics courses before I switched out of them into honors. There's a really sort of strong difference that you can detect between how you sort of like process the workload and how other people process the workload. I think a lot of people they get like overwhelmed by the college work and they sort of don't know how to manage it, how to handle it, how to deal with the stress. And it's something that, I don't know, I encountered the college workload even with my really high sort of course load, and I was like, this is just like Carnegie. I was like, this is the same. It was never like worse than Carnegie, and so I was pretty much fine. But I would talk to other people and they'd be like, how are you doing that? That's crazy. I could never. Like, I take like 12 credit hours, whatever. And I think that Carnegie really does prepare you for sort of like being able to allocate your time and get work done and sort of like move through all, like, even material that you find really difficult, being able to sort of persist and understand it.
I think just like really quickly add on, compared to like other, like my classmates, when they went to bigger high schools, like thousands of kids, and like for their coursework they had options to take like non-AP courses, or like non-HADV, I believe it's called now, because they had options to take those. Some of the students went that path. So when they come to college to take those courses, it's like much harder. Whereas at Carnegie, like you're not forced, but because it's more AP-based curriculum, you're already in that, and you already are learning at a college level, and you go through that like workload and everything. It just sets you up for success in college compared to other schools.
I think for me, my experience is a little different. I think I forget the exact statistic, but at Notre Dame, I think only 33% of students went to public schools. So a lot of the students went to private schools, and so they had access to those AP courses. So the only difference I would say in classes is sort of like the gap. Obviously, Carnegie is like a different sort of public school. It's a magnet school, so it has that same like intensity that those private schools have. But I think the only gap I see is like the students that might have gone to like public schools without the resources. So it might be like a bit harder of an adjustment.
So something that I've been able to see that only I think a handful of the parents are in my situation, who I had a student from your class that was pre-COVID, a freshman pre-COVID, went through COVID, graduated, coming out of that. And then I now have a freshman again, post-COVID. And the freshmen this year, the class of 2026, are having a very similar freshman year, I think, to what your freshman year was like back in ye olden days. And they're struggling. They're really struggling. And I, by virtue, I guess, of being PTO president, people are well, they're wrong. I have no power at all, but they sometimes message me with their complaints and their concerns about the workload. I'm like, yeah, but we commiserate about it, and it does strike me that it would be really beneficial for this freshman class to be able to talk not with the seniors now, but to talk with your class, because I feel like maybe the seniors now don't actually have that same freshman experience. All that is to say, if you could tell our freshmen, the class of 26, some encouragement about how much work they're putting in, about the note cards, because the note cards are really, they're causing some psychological damage right now.
Nasty, they're nasty. You want to say nasty, right? No.
If you can give them some words of advice, or what would you tell our freshmen right now in retrospect? Dig deep. The parents need something.
I would say, like, I had a teacher who really cared about the note cards. Like, I had the worst experience. Stop laughing. I had the worst experience possible for my freshman year for a note card teacher, and I will not be naming names. But of course not. But he they stopped. They said they really cared about how much like effort we put into our note cards. So, which is fair enough. Of course. So they would look at every single detail in our note cards, make sure that we're spelling everything right, like a perfect example, perfect sentence structure. Like, they really cared. And that made me panic a lot. Like, I was really stressing out over these note cards in comparison to like my friends who still did the note cards, but they didn't have to care too much about like sentence structure or like your handwriting, etc. I would say, like, I don't, even with like that stress, like the note cards, that doesn't come back. It's once you get through freshman year, I'm not going to say Carnegie gets easier. I feel like it has its little ups and downs depending on what classes you take. But I would just say do your note cards on time. I think I need I would need to talk to a freshman to see exactly what they're struggling with. I understand like it's really hard, and I would say like it's okay to be struggling. I do think it's second semester, or yeah, the second semester for them now. So if they're still struggling with the note cards, then maybe talk with someone like your teachers about it. I would just say just to pace it out if they're really struggling with it. I did not pace it out. I suffered the consequences for that. But I would just say to those freshmen, like the note cards are a freshman thing. They don't come back. In the future, you'll have to take notes. And I think those notes were more helpful to me, like because it helped me like get ready for the quizzes that we had. Yeah, that's my insight.
Yeah, sort of jumping off that, I have a sister who's a freshman at Carnegie right now, and I've definitely heard about the note cards. No one likes them. I would say just general advice, sort of like jumping off of what Ollie said, like just get them done. They don't really show up again. In terms of like general advice for freshmen, I would say keep on going. Like I know we all come from different middle schools around, HISD, but and so for some it might be more of an adjustment than others. And I know like my freshman year, I'm gonna be like completely honest, I did not do well. But I think it put me in a position where I was like, okay, this didn't come easily. It's not going to come easily. Like I need to really like get down in the books if I want to do well and succeed at Carnegie. So I think it gave me that like fire or whatnot to like push forward and push through and do better the rest of my time there. And so to summarize it, just keep pushing and things will get better.
Just jumping off of that, I think that one of the most important pieces of advice to sort of give like freshmen now is that Carnegie is a difficult school. And that means that when you think, hey, this work is really difficult, I don't know if I'm gonna make it through this. It's difficult and it's meant to be difficult. It's not something that's like, oh, I'm not good at this because, I'm not skilled enough to do it. You're not good at it because it's very hard to do. And it's something that, especially with the note cards, they don't come back. Carnegie, I wouldn't say that the material gets easier over time, but your ability to sort of deal with it and anticipate it does. I think that one of the hardest parts of freshman year is building up not only the sort of skills to do work, but also the fortitude to know that, if you get something wrong, if you find something difficult to understand, if you're sort of overwhelmed by work, that's not something that you should really, like take as a personal failing. It's something that you have to sort of accept as a part of your experience with Carnegie and move forward. I personally had a pretty rough time, like around the time that COVID hit, when everyone moved to online school, and I actually almost considered transferring out of Carnegie. I didn't. I'm at Rice now, and I'm a physics major, so I would say it went pretty well for me. But at those times when it feels like, things are really difficult, they do get better, and you do get sort of more equipped to handle them over time as you deal with them.
We've got a question. As juniors, what activities did you do to prepare for college applications? Did you complete, what did you do to complete, did you complete during the summer before your senior year? What activities did you do? Any recommendations?
I think one thing I did that summer before senior year is like an activity is I went to the colleges that I'm interested in and toured them, because I knew that when senior year started, I wouldn't have as much time because I would be busy at school and all the applications. But also just like in the summer, you want to try to get like volunteering or any internships or programs that you are interested in or that you think would help your application. You want to do those in the summer as well so you can put them on.
Yeah, I think sort of jumping off that, I think, well, junior year was the fully COVID year for us. And so throughout the year, sort of, it was more so looking for like online opportunities because a lot of things weren't in person. In terms of like doing things over the summer, I had an internship over the summer. I interned at Johnson Space Center. It was actually an opportunity that I got through Carnegie. Like Mr. Garner had sent like a mass email to all the juniors and seniors. And so I applied and I was able, that was when I wanted to be an engineer. But I got to do that. And that was like a big part of my, like, I wrote a lot about that for my college applications, but sort of finding things that you're passionate about and like opportunities that are available through there. So it helps, you know, craft a story when you're like writing all those like short application essays for universities.
I am on the complete opposite of the spectrum. I did not do anything during junior year because during COVID year, it wasn't the best year for me just because it wasn't good. I didn't do any internships. I mostly focused on my extracurriculums at school. So I just did a lot of theater, was part of the GSA, like just most of clubs there. I would suggest, like, if you can, it's because I missed out on it, like building up your own like little resume while you can. That would be that would help a lot. For me, I am like blessed with the fact that I could travel a lot, so that's what I wrote in my essay. And for senior year, like to get prepared for, like, I started visiting colleges during the application process because I had absolutely no idea where I wanted to go and what I wanted to do with my life. So I would like suggest, like, if you can with your student or with your kid, like definitely just visiting colleges can help a lot with just trying to help them like get a grasp of what they want to do, where they want to go, especially where they want to go, just where they want to apply to. Because for me, I genuinely had nothing. I was just like kind of going based off of what my friends were applying to and did that.
Oh, hi, Perrin. Do you want to talk?
Hi, Raven. Oh my God. I was just gonna say that we kind of got really messed up, or at least some of us did, with COVID happening that year in the summer. Like, I know I had a few plans, like things I was planning on doing that summer that got either canceled or suspended, so I wasn't able to, and that kind of messed with the whole idea of it. But take whatever opportunities you can when there isn't a global pandemic to do stuff. When there is, you could do what I did and what Ollie and Raven we did together, which was we worked a lot on the GSA, which was the Gay Straight Alliance at Carnegie. We did a lot of stuff online with that because that's something we knew how to do. We knew how to communicate online and like actually keep a community alive online, which has been super helpful because we still all talk online all the time, even now, even though we're in different places. So genuine skill, but it's still like, just do something. And if it's something that is important to you, you'll enjoy doing it and you'll enjoy the experience of doing it and you'll have something to talk about. Because it doesn't have to be like, oh, colleges only care about like feeding orphans or whatever. Like there's anything you do, if it's important and interesting to you, then it's going to be important and interesting enough for you to write an essay about for someone else to read. Like that passion is what's most important.
Actually, parents touched on a little bit of what I wanted to say, which is that resume building is important for college, but I will say that during COVID, I didn't go anywhere, basically. I didn't do anything. I worked on the GSA, I did theater. I think that one of the most important things with college applications that people sort of don't realize now is a lot of people put a lot of effort into being well-rounded, and that's great. You should be well-rounded. But if you're well-rounded and it seems like you don't have a passion for anything there, colleges won't care as much because they'll know that you're going to stop doing those things as soon as you arrive. One of the most striking things about the people at Rice is that most of them really love something. I think that finding something that you love, finding something you're passionate about, even if it seems silly or like it's not the most impressive thing, like even if it's not a sport or an instrument, being able to pour your heart and soul into that really gives you not only like a good essay, but also something that you can focus on and devote time to. And colleges can tell whether or not you actually wanted to do that thing, because even if you don't really realize it, it kind of shows. So finding subjects that you're interested in and that you can, like either be good at and that's what you enjoy about it, or that you just enjoy in general, and being able to devote your time to them is something that like sort of benefits you in every way and shows that you have the ability to not only do things but also commit to them. And that's really good for colleges to see.
And I will add, like, I've talked to like my colleges like transfer people because I'm figuring out like majoring stuff, and they are connected to like accepting like high school applications, and they've emphasized a lot like they can see when they don't care too much. They do care, but they don't care too much about, at least at UT. I can't speak for any of the other colleges. That essay, like that college application essay, is super important because that shows who you are as a person, like what you like it can be anything. And I think finding that for us, like the student to find that special experience that they can write an essay about and show who they are and how much they enjoy something, whether it be academically or like hobbies or just an experience that they had, that is really important. So especially now that COVID isn't affecting our world as much as it was for us when we were in high school, like taking those chances to just explore internships, like things that might interest you. If it works out, then that's great. You can maybe write about it. If it doesn't, then at least you can add it to your application. So just like going out of your way to just figuring out stuff. Like they don't have to figure things out in high school, obviously. Just finding something that interests them, just exploring, like take the opportunity that they can.
And I think the English teacher, Mr. Parker, when we were working on college essays, like one of the first assignments senior year, one of the things he told us was when you're writing the essay about you, it's about you, and don't like put in the essay why you want to major in something, because it's about you. And so any activities that you do, as everyone mentioned, you want to make sure you're passionate about it. It doesn't have to define what you're majoring in or what you are thinking, because whether you already have something in mind or if you're undecided, you still have time to explore in college. Because like even me, I've been pretty fixed on biomedical engineering. I am planning to switch to another engineering just because of everything I've seen here. So you want to take the time to find what interests you personally and find a connection with it. And it shows that you are a good person. They want to know who you are personally when they're reading your application.
So that, and I know it's getting late and everyone, just started the semester and have to go, but that brings up an excellent point, because I think a lot of the freshmen are killing themselves, staying up until 2 in the morning and then waking up again at 6 in the morning to start all over again because they are a little bit hyper fixated on their GPA. And because they think that is the end all be all, and they're trying to compete for, the 6 spots, and at the end of the day, I think what I'm hearing from all of you is that colleges are not going to be looking at, the 100,000 people that all made a 4.555. They're going to be looking at individuals and what they write about in their essays and what they're passionate about. So I think that's encouraging for all of us with kids, that maybe they can get a little bit more sleep and do some healthy things, participate a little bit more. So I know that there are more questions coming up in the chat about scholarships and whatnot. A lot of those questions are actually answered in our series, the one that we were talking about right before we started the program. This is already running over by 22 minutes. If y'all see anything in the chat that you have an answer to that you really want to address, I'll leave the Zoom open. I don't have a problem with it, but I don't want to keep you, because I said half an hour and we're past that.
I one of the questions was asking about roommates, and then one was asking about scholarships. I guess I could answer both of those. In terms of scholarships, so for my university, I'm part of a scholars program, so I'm essentially here on a full ride. I hadn't known about it before I applied to the university. And so essentially how that whole process worked is before official decisions came out, they emailed you that, oh, you're like a semi-finalist for this thing. And then now you have to do this interview. It was one round, and then you had to do a second round of interviews. And so I'd say one thing that I figured out was like one of the other people that I met with that's in the same scholars program as me was like, they specifically applied to universities that they knew had programs like that, where it's like a merit-based scholarship. Like it has nothing to do with it sort of has to do with like what you did in high school, academics, stuff like that, but it's not like correlated to money, because even for like anyone, like college can be like a huge cost. And so sort of looking, I would say, like if that's something that you want to like find out for your own child, sort of look towards universities. Oh, does this university have a scholarship program? Like what are the guidelines for this, like to see where they would fit. And in terms of roommates, at my school, it's random. You don't get to choose, and all our dorms are like, it's a Catholic university, and so all the dorms are either like male or female. There's like 15 female dorms, and then there's 15 male dorms. And I initially had a roommate, and they were on one of the sports teams at Notre Dame. They were not a good roommate. Lots of iffy things happened, but essentially they ended up moving from the dorm to a different dorm because of like help. One thing I will say with all these like older universities, sometimes in like visiting universities, sometimes they don't let you into the dorms, but try to find a way into the dorms, because a lot of like, at least at Notre Dame, some of them are like new. You have the ones that are made in like 2018, and then you have the ones that are made like in the 70s, and they're like dusty, and that's the one I'm in right now. But essentially they moved for like asthma reasons, and then I got a new roommate. But essentially, if things don't work out, or if there's like clashes, there's always like a process, I think, with like all universities to sort of get that solved. But yeah.
I'm actually going to add on to the dorm thing. I would say don't base your university decision on dorms. I don't know why you would, but a lot of the time universities will sort of put their best dorm as the image. I live in a dorm that was built in the 20s. I don't mind it because I really like the culture of Rice, but everything here is teeny bit broken. Because Karen is laughing, it's because we had a power outage like yesterday. But basically, like sort of the face that universities put forward is going to be their best one. And so I think that sort of going into college and expecting like really like new pristine high-tech dorms all the time, or expecting like, I mean, you should expect good things from your college, to be clear. You should apply to a college that you think is good. But the idea that like you should base your decision on sort of like the dorms, or, you know, the general facilities, as long as they're not awful or something, is sort of something that you might end up regretting, because like you don't really know how college is going to be until you're there. And so you should choose based on what you think is going to fit you best as a person, and not necessarily like the aesthetics of it or sort of how it looks on the exterior. I'm Rice, to answer the question in chat.
I think they might mean like Hansen.
Oh, I'm in Hansen, yeah.
For me, my roommate experience for UT, there's a lot of options. There's a lot of dorms, depending on your price range, where you want to live. There's like, because UT's pretty big, so if you want to live in a dorm closer to where most of your classes are, that's an option. There's like the popular dorms, like where I am in, like it's called Jester. It's just the standard dorm, Jester East, yay. And for me, I was really paranoid about who I wanted my roommate to be. So I like joined the UT Facebook that they sent out to us, and I looked for weeks for a roommate. Sometimes I would just be too late. They would find one. Sometimes I'd start talking to someone and be like, oh, I don't think we're gonna have a connection as a roommate. I was really stressing out because I getting really nervous about who I'm gonna live with for a year. And then I found my roommate, and she's great. And it's just, if your student cares about like just making sure they're going to be comfortable with the person they live with, you can take, at least at UT, it's definitely because some colleges won't let you choose. You can take the steps to find a roommate that's suitable for you. You don't have to be best friends with your roommate, of course. And there's usually systems, like if there's something going on wrong with, you could probably talk to someone to get it sorted out. But that's what I did, because I just know a friend of mine, she really regretted not looking into finding a good roommate. So it's just up to you. That's my experience though.
At A&M, it's completely flipped for some reason. I've attended the tours. They show I'm not gonna throw shade at A&M, but they show the worst dorm on campus for some reason. So when I got assigned my dorm, I was pleasantly surprised that it's nicer and renovated. And then I was supposed to room with a friend from Carnegie. Because they ended up going to another university, I was randomly assigned to a junior in a different major. But it's fine because our preferences align. So we're not best friends, but we're really chill, and he helps me as well because he's older. So it's just really nice.
That is so interesting, all of you. I have the best dorm ever. I love the dorms at UH. They're really good. I don't know. We may not be the highest ranked, but our amenities, I've yet to see a college that beats it, because I have never had any problems. Also, the food is good and it's open 24/7. So more positives. But yeah, I love my dorm. I think it's great. I'm excited for next year's dorm because I get to have like a single, but like with 4 of them next to each other, and then like a shared room. It's great. Never run out of water. I'm like Raven.
Karen continues to make fun of me. Our server is only
So
open
funny.
for 2 hours per meal, and sometimes we don't have water. But it's because we are a smaller college, so we're a small university, and we have a lot of servers across the campus that they can only keep them open for certain amounts of time. And also the water is being fixed.
The water and the power and the mold.
I was
and
gonna say, and then
everything.
there was the mold. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. I cannot thank y'all enough for this. It lightens our heart to see the other side so much, and thank you for sharing your contact information, because I'm sure that there's other stuff that people want to ask. And for everybody representing your schools and your majors, and giving of your time. It's Jester East, by the way. Anyways, okay. Thank you, parents, for sticking around, and don't forget to join us. If anyone is a freshman parent and is interested in a social, Mala is our senior parent, and we have 2 that we are putting together, one in the morning after drop off and one on the weekend in the afternoon or evening. So just stay on call after everyone else leaves. Thank you so much. Have a good night.